Hi group, this is Lauren Kirk. Today is June 23rd. This is for video diary number 3. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with the questions. So critical theory. The definition for critical theory is a philosophical approach to culture and especially to literature that seeks to confront the social, historical, and ideological forces and structures that produce and constrain it. Basically, it's individuals or organizations that kind of damage power structure by their interest or the management. For power, I think we have to look at Webster's definition on page 114 in our book. It's about opposing one's will upon the behaviors of other persons. So that's basically trying to push your beliefs or thoughts or behaviors on other people. For hegemony is basically the process of people following the person of power or drinking the Kool-Aid is kind of what I think about that, as being a follower, not a leader. Conservative control is the beliefs and values developed by a group to make the structure in an organization. For question number 2, Emma Watson's speech, I felt that she was very confident and very a strong speaker. I think that, sorry, my dogs are barking in the background, that though feminism is very important, and I believe as a woman that we should stand with other women and up for other women and support other women, I do feel that I'm not particularly a feminist. I definitely do believe in equality and think that men and women should be treated equally. We should be paid equally. And, so I do like a lot of the things that she was saying in her speech, and I thought it was a very good speech. Number 3 and number 4, I was unable to open the links. It just said they were not found. So I'm going to go ahead and go to number 5. Sorry, my dog's running around. There's roles that are in lack of leadership, and without communication, it's hard to improve the roles and the function of an organization to be efficient. Number 6. Let's see. Applying for an interview job. I think during an interview, I try to answer each question as best as I can. So I don't know that I'm necessarily misrepresenting myself, but I'm a lot more laid back when I'm not in an interview situation. Also, I know that I always catch myself kind of rambling on sometimes when I'm asked a question. And then after my interview, I'm thinking back to how I answered specific questions, wishing that I would have been more direct and to the point with my answers. But I think for misrepresenting myself is probably just about like being nervous, which everyone is nervous, so I'm a lot more laid back in person. Number 7. Have I ever been hired on an organization and they misrepresented your role to a company? Yes. My first year of college, when I was 18, I worked for Panera, and I was hired on as a cashier and ended up being a busser. So I did not stay with the company very long because they totally misrepresented the role that I was going to be working, because I did not want to be a busser. I wanted to be a cashier. So that was a little frustrating. So number 8. I think people try to make their applications or resumes as impressive as possible. I know people kind of fudge wording or maybe give their GPA a little bit higher of a score, or make their time, maybe with a previous employer longer than it actually was. I think people do that to try to give them the upper hand when they're getting a job. And I really believe that when people are looking for a job, they want to be picked out among the crowd. So the better your resume looks, or the more experience you have, definitely does set you apart and makes you look more of a valued applicant than somebody with a lesser, side. Number 9. I've actually never Googled my name. I think I did when I was in high school. I know that my social media I have everything set to private. I guess my LinkedIn would probably come up, and that's about it. Hopefully there's no one catfishing me or anything like that. I don't believe that anything like that is going on. But I probably should go ahead and do that and just make sure, before I graduate, that everything checks out when I Google myself. Number 10. So the recruitment practices at Bell South, I was unable to find the information or the article for this question, so I'm just going to skip down to number 11. After reading chapter 8 and reviewing PowerPoints and slides, and reviewing the case study of navigating the limits of a smile, I found that Casey was trying to fill the goal, fit into the culture of her job. And I do think she should have addressed the sexual harassment that she faced by the 6-year-old man. I definitely would have said something because that's very uncomfortable and disgusting. So I think that's what she should have stated. She definitely should have addressed that with a supervisor or her boss. Even though she was trying to do her job, there's definitely a fine line between entertaining a guest and feeling like you're being sexually harassed. Number 12. I think people just need to be careful what information they share, and to make sure that when they are sharing information that they're being very concise and direct and telling the truth and not fabricating the truth. But also just to be careful. I mean, you don't want to make a mountain out of something really small. But at the same time, when things need to be addressed, things need to be addressed. Number 13. Think of a friend. Practice upward distortion. Okay, so recently I had a friend make some very poor choices with one of my other friend's boyfriends, and she lied about a lot of things even though me and my other friend knew the truth. So because of her behavior and her I guess distortion of the whole situation, we are no longer friends. So I definitely think there is repercussion for your actions, and actions speak louder than words. So it's very important, when I have our jobs and our, corporate world lives, professional lives, that we make sure that everything we're doing is with the best interests of ourselves, of our position, and of our companies that we represent. The role of trust, I think, is a huge part of any relationship, especially the superior and subordinate people and roles and jobs. Without trust, you really don't have anything. I find that, you want to be able to trust your employer, and you want your employer to be able to trust you. And I know that, working in retail and restaurant jobs, you know, a lot of employees get fired because of trust issues. Maybe that's stolen money or stolen clothing or, giving friends discounts, things like that. I mean, trust is a huge aspect of our adult lives, and I think it plays a very large role, an important role in superior subordinate relationships. And number 15, the role of immediacy in a supervisor subordinate relationship is important because it really helps to build a bond between the two. And I think without being able to be vulnerable and, again, trust one another, there isn't going to be that bond. There won't be any stages of growing together and being able to, grow more of an intimate relationship with one another and on a professional level. So I definitely think that shows a bond between the roles and helps to form strong ties for relationships. Thank y'all for listening to my answers. I look forward to watching y'all's videos. Hope everyone has a great evening. Bye.